Hello, this is Tony Hiller from RealClimateScience.com. At the end of January, I posted this tweet. 9 years ago, the New York Times announced the end of snow and showed a picture from a ski resort in Germany to prove it. And then down below, I posted a current picture of the same ski resort in Germany, all covered with snow. And then somebody responded, 3 weeks ago, things were different. Winter holidays without snow are not normal for the most important ski area in this region. Usually there should be a lot of snow from December to March. Do your homework and stop scamming. I was hoping somebody would take the bait, and sure enough they did. I responded, the 1936 Winter Olympics in Germany were almost canceled due to rain and a lack of snow. Your theory about what is normal is not supported by science or history, which is typical of cultists of the climate scam. February 1936 was very warm in Germany, but it may have been the coldest February on record in the United States, with some parts of the U.S. being almost 30 degrees below normal. Niagara Falls completely froze up. And then a few weeks later in March came some of the worst floods on record in the eastern United States. On March 20th, 1936, my grandfather had to be rescued by boat from downtown Pittsburgh. 200,000 people became homeless in the floods of March 1936. And then 2 weeks later came two of the 5 deadliest tornadoes in U.S. history. Hundreds of people in the South were killed by tornadoes during April 1936. Scores dead as tornado rips through 4 states. Meanwhile, Hitler was invading Europe while offering peace. The cold of February 1936 was followed by the hottest summer on record in the United States. During 1936, almost 10% of afternoon temperature readings in the United States were over 95 degrees Fahrenheit or 35 degrees Celsius. The 3 hottest summers were 1936, 1934, and 1954, which I'll be talking about later. During July 1936, the United States was blistering hot, with Nebraska and South Dakota 12 degrees above normal. Thousands of people were dying in the heat during July and August 1936, and about half of U.S. states set their all-time temperature record that summer. North Dakota reached 121 degrees during the summer of 1936, and Wisconsin reached 114 degrees. Some newspapers described it as the worst drought in U.S. history. Texas was having terrible floods and forest fires were burning on the west coast. Devastating typhoons hit Japan and the Philippines. Tornadoes were ravaging Australia and Turkey was suffering terrible floods. West Australia was having what was described as their worst drought in history, and terrible storms were hitting Europe. Now let's take a look at 1954, which was also an incredibly hot summer in the United States. February 1936 may have been the coldest February on record in the United States, but February 1954 was the warmest on record in the western U.S. On February 8, 1954, Boulder, Colorado reached an incredible 79 degrees. For the entire month of February 1954, Boulder averaged 61 degrees, which is 14 degrees above normal. And on February 8, 1954, it was 88 degrees at San Diego. That's almost 15 degrees above their average summer temperature. During 1954, most of the United States was in drought. During the summer of 1954, the last 2 major hurricanes to hit New England struck within 2 weeks of each other. 1954 was a really bad year, but the last 20 years have been the quietest on record for severe storms in New England. At the beginning of October 1954, there was an incredible heat wave in the Carolinas with temperatures over 100 degrees. And this was followed by Hurricane Hazel, which was one of the most devastating on record in the United States and the deadliest hurricane on record in Canada. But never mind the record quiet for severe storms in the northeastern United States. After Hurricane Sandy hit, the conversation declared it to be the new normal. They are a constant source of climate misinformation, and they've banned anyone who tells the truth about climate. They say people who tell the truth about climate are dangerous. The conversation has banned conversation. This shouldn't surprise anyone because they've taken almost $7 million from Bill Gates. He's been one of the leading sources of climate misinformation around the world. Climate alarmists imagine a past which has nothing to do with reality. They believe that the climate used to be safe and stable at lower levels of carbon dioxide, but nothing could be further from the truth. Toto has been pulling back the curtain on this massive scam for the past 15 years. You can visit him, Kyrie, Caesar, Toki, Upala, and the 4 new puppies on the web at realclimatescience.com.